in my opinion, one of the big mistakes that the U.S. program did was rushing to put in place the rules and regulations before we understood what it was that was important. We rushed in and made these rules and regulations on the DOE side, the qualifiers and disqualifiers. On EPA's side, the performance of the system. We put in place these things that, it was a criteria, but we didn't know what was important. And you don't really know what's important until you have a pretty good understanding of what a specific site is. And you're never as confident about a site. You're never more confident about a site than you are before you've ever looked at it. In other words, that's the most confident you'll ever be about a site. Because everything else that you learn, there will be positive and negative things, and you have to balance out, well, in the aggregate, how would this system of both what's there and what man can add to it as an engineered component, can that adequately protect public health and safety? Before you understand what's important, how can you dictate a schedule before you know what must be done? I mean, what kind of a facility needs to be built? What information needs to be developed? What gaps in information need to be filled? How can you possibly think about putting a schedule, dictating a schedule, before you have an understanding of what that's going to take? And I think that's one of the big faults behind the original Nuclear Waste Policy Act, which put in place this schedule for the contracts for waste acceptance, for operational date for a repository, before anything had been looked at in any detail, before any understanding had been developed about what's important at a specific site, namely Yucca Mountain. Changing the program is like turning an aircraft carrier. It does not happen quickly. That certainly, I hope, will be a lesson. But I'll tell you, as long as politicians are involved, you'll have something like that because they'll demand something like that. And for that reason, I do not think any kind of a facility of this nature can be successful as long as it is dictated by politics.